Dr. Gabriel Cousins, do you have a question for Supreme Master?
Yes, I do, actually. We understand that veganism is clearly a major lifestyle change. What other lifestyle and consciousness change would you recommend? One other one that you would recommend is most important to make that change into the culture of life?
Thank you, Dr. Cousins. You know already, veganism is just one of the aspects of our lives. The next one, together with veganism, we should also develop spiritual practice. Yes. And then because the more we dwell deep into our great self, the more knowledge we have, the more wisdom we will gain. And then nobody need even to tell us anything. We will go in the right direction in life. And then once we go into the right direction, everything else will be correct. So spiritual life is very essential. But I'm afraid that that probably is the next phase after vegetarianism. First, people have to open their heart to be compassionate to all beings, meaning forsake meat eating and returning to the noble way of life, the vegetarian diet. Then after that, the heart will be more open, and then the next we can probably suggest more spiritual development. Even if they did not want spiritual development per se, after being vegetarian for a while, they will also become somewhat spiritually elevated, and maybe they would want to search more understanding about this subject and go deeper into enlightenment. Yeah, that's what I hope, and that's what I think.
We are delighted to have with us today John Rotz, legendary film promoter and founder of Visionary Group and Global Alliance for Transformational Entertainment. Tell us how you are shaping the world, John, in terms of how you're using the media to try to bring a message of peace and compassion.
Thank you. Well, first off, I want to thank everybody for being here today. And I'm very humbled to be in the presence of such amazing consciousness and presence. And this is a really exciting time because the nature of media is changing. People are the media today. And we no longer rely only on television, radio, newspapers and such for our information, but we rely on one another, most importantly. The technical term is word-of-mouth marketing. And it's the very best, but it's also the hardest to achieve. And I think that's something that people have been alluding to today. How do we accomplish many of the ideas that we've been speaking about today? And in 1991, my company had the honor to work on a film called Mind Walk that some of you may be familiar with. And yes, it's a great film. And Mind Walk has been called an eco-spiritual version of My Dinner with Andre. And it explores a kind of systems view of the world. And when I was thinking about this presentation today, I pulled out the script because I remembered a line from the movie, and the line is, healing the universe is an inside job. And I changed it to healing the environment is an inside job. Because to me, that idea expresses a connection between our inner state or consciousness and transformation, personal responsibility and action in the outer world. And I view media as a kind of link that can connect those two and can facilitate this. So we've been involved in the marketing of a number of films like What the Bleep Do We Know and Peaceful Warrior and 11th Hour and the last Francis Ford Coppola film, Youth Without Youth, which is really quite an extraordinary piece of work. And we've noticed over the last several years that there is such great interest in transformational media. And I use the term media in the broadest and deepest sense of the word. So we've been slowly working within Hollywood to try and help Hollywood understand that there is, in fact, an audience for films and television programming in particular. When What the Bleep was first shot, every distributor in Hollywood said no. There isn't a market for this film. No one will pay $5 to see it. And our position was, well, just because you don't know the audience doesn't mean we don't exist. And they said, prove it. So we did. And after a few $1 million of box office, of course, the distributors, came knocking on the door and saying, well, we can work with you now. We ultimately did work with the distributor. And I think one of the reasons for that was because it's important to build bridges with the media, whether it's a distributor or a television company or what have you. We've got to start bringing our consciousness, our sensibilities of this into the mainstream. Many people are not aware, but the media operate according to a set of values. And one of those values is typified by the expression, if it bleeds, it leads. Negativity is one of the top media values. And as is celebrity, we live in a celebrity-oriented culture. And these are the kinds of values that the media are promoting. And we all need to work to help foster and facilitate a new set of media values. There's a lovely expression, only a new seed will yield a new crop. And if we want the media to begin expressing new ideas, new visions, new models, then we have to be the ones to bring these to them. When I started 20 years ago, knocking on the doors of the media, and I would bring up such ideas as meditation, yoga, vegetarianism, the environment, I'm quite certain that they thought I was from another planet, as many people do today. And yet, after 20 years, we just keep knocking on the door. And little bit by little bit, the media are changing. This has brought about a realization that we need an organization, which we've started, called GATE, which stands for the Global Alliance for Transformational Entertainment. And the idea behind this organization is to bring together those conscious people within the entertainment business, on the creative and the business sides, people who understand consciousness, who understand transformation, and invite them to this forum to learn, to talk, to share ideas, resources, projects, money, and what have you, to help give birth more easily to these kinds of projects in the context of the mainstream entertainment business. So our plan now is to hold an inaugural meeting of GATE in the fall. And the title of the presentation is going to be Transform the World by Transforming Media and Entertainment. What we want everyone to do is to come together and begin talking about media values, the need for new media values.